Dale and Justin from Bootkick again, and we're going to be talking a little bit about business plans. The three things I want to talk to you today about are what is a business plan? Okay, what goes into it, and some of the main things you should be thinking about if you're actually developing a business plan. The second thing is who uses it. Okay, why are you building this business plan? For internal or external uses? Who's going to be looking at this business plan, and why do you need it in the first place? And the last thing is how much preparation or work or effort do you want to put into it? You know, is it better to do more planning, or is it better to get out there, launch something, and see how it goes and reiterate and develop your product from there? Okay, so business plan. You write a business plan because you're trying to outline the basic concept of the value you're going to be producing for potential customers. You're going to be outlining what is the product or service we're building, and who's going to be using it, who's going to be purchasing it, and what's our strategy to develop a business so we can actually produce and get this product into the customer's hands. And there's lots of different things to think about. There's financing needs you have to think about. How much money are we going to need? You know, how much money do we need for startup, for research and development? You know, as we launch this business, how much money are we going to need at different stages as we grow? Maybe to purchase equipment we need, or for rent, or to hire people, or if we're experiencing explosive growth, to invest and to grow this business and to reach other markets. When are we going to need the money, and how much are we going to need? That's an important thing to think about. The other thing you have to think about is the instruction process. So, you know, as you're building your business plan, okay, what steps do we have to take along the way? What operational steps do we need to take? You know, how is this product built? Okay, how are we actually going to produce it? Another very important aspect of a business plan is the people. Okay, so you got to make sure you get the right people together to build this business plan. What talents do you inherently have when you're starting your business, and who do you need to attract? You want to look at the external aspects of your business as well. You got to look at the markets. You got to look, okay, who are our potential customers? How are we going to be able to reach them? Where's your competition coming from? Is there competition? How are we going to react to it? You know, so marketing plan is absolutely essential if you're going to be starting a business plan. And the other thing you have to think about is what are the risks and rewards? It's not just about creating a business plan saying, okay, we're going to make huge amounts of money and it's going to be all success and no problems. You got to realize, okay, there's going to be lots of risks to this. And how are we going to mitigate those risks? It's not just thinking about growth and endless growth and success. It's also thinking, okay, what are the threats out there? What are the potential problems? And coming up with plans and solutions to deal with those problems. So again, for a business plan, what it is, it's actually like just outlining a process of how you're going to capture the value for the idea you created. You know, it's a tool for raising capital. You might use it for external sources to raise some money if somebody's going to be interested in investing in it. But it's basically just an outline of how you're going to capture value in the market. So the second thing I want to talk about is, okay, who's using this business plan? And there's different groups that will use it. There's internal users, so people within the company that are going to need the business plan. And these might be the management, the owners, and they're setting out the strategic plan. One of the nice things about a business plan is it imposes discipline on the leaders, or discipline on the owners. Another aspect for internal users is the potential employees. As you're hiring new employees, you might have like basically instruction manuals of what their job entails. So if you have some new hires, you know, these are the things we want you to do. There's also external users for business plans, okay? So people outside the business. If you're trying to raise money from potential investors like venture capitalists or, you know, friends and family probably at the start, they're going to want to see a plan. Design your business plan to make sure you address the needs of external users if you're trying to raise financing from outside sources. It's an important thing to do. You know, they're going to have different needs than the end users, so they're going to want different questions answered. You know, there might be other lenders, banks. If you're ever going to be borrowing money from a bank, they're probably going to want to see a pretty detailed business plan. You know, other external sources might be potential suppliers. Sometimes you're dealing with companies or even potential customers. If you're dealing with larger companies, they want to know that they're going to trust this business to exist longer term. The last thing you have to decide is, okay, how much effort and time and energy are we going to be putting into building this business plan? It depends on how complex the business is, how much risk you're taking. If it's a more complex business, obviously a little bit more planning might have to go into this. If you're raising money from external sources, you're going to need a stronger business plan. You need to put the work and effort into it. Sometimes it is better to get out there, build your product, put it out there in front of customers, see how they're going to respond to it, and then adapt and adjust as you go along. But again, that all depends on how risky it is, how much effort's going to be put into it, and the potential of threats that might come along. So it's something you have to really consider. But business plans can be very effective. You just have to decide where you're going to be spending your time and effort and energy as you launch your business.